on the question. Can you see the screen? All of you? It's not. And Tanishka, your class, when you have to submit? August 18th or 13th? 18th. Now can you see the screen? All of you? Tanishka, Lemula, not yeah, Tanishka, Lemula in same class, right? Naomi, please, August 18th. You'll have to submit. What about other students? Other section? Joanna, Cherisha, 18th. No, project is same date. Submission date 18th. Okay, exactly 2 weeks left, students. I've told you all what to write. If you're interested, do it. You'll show to me. I'll check. Fine. I'll just send a message. Today I'll just send a message in group. Okay, we'll start this new chapter. Heights and distance. Okay, for this, once again, you'll have to memorize the table. Do you all remember the table? Values? They'll be giving the tables. Okay, then fine. Then what are the angles you had in the question, students? 30 degree, 45. Last year, what are the angles we studied? Can you tell me what angles we have? The 0, 60, 0, 30, 60, 45, and 9. Here, in the questions, what are the angles you'll add? Anything apart from that? Oh, I'm asking about this textbook. Ma'am solved questions, right, Tanishka, from heights and distance. What are the angles you'll add, students? Not complementary angles. Like, apart from 30 degree, 45, 60, and 90, any other angles you'll add? Like 25 degrees, 35 degrees. Okay, for that, do you like? Okay, it's given. Okay, values are given. So, they'll give you all values or the tables book. Okay, fine. For that, they'll give. Is Cherisha online? Okay, heights and distance. For which triangle do we use, students? For which triangle we use heights and distance? Right angle triangle. What's the reason? Why right angle triangle? It has 90 degree. Okay, through 90 degree we derive the just a minute. Fine. We use heights and distance. We use trigonometry concept. Fine. Trigonometry to find heights and distance. Basically, heights and distance for height for mountains. Okay, height of mountain, tree, all that is given in textbook or tower. Okay, or pillars. Right. Distance students. We basically find the height or the distance from one point to another point. Imagine you're at point A. This one from point A. When you look at an object at point B, this is known as line of sight. Okay, this is known as line of sight, right? And from point A, the straight line, what do you call this straight line? Is it a vertical or horizontal line? What do you call this straight line? Anything which is flat, we call horizontal line. Yes, we call it horizontal line. Horizontal line is nothing but when you see an object, whichever is straight to you, it has to be exactly in a straight direction. We call it that object lies in the horizontal direction, opposite. Okay, it has to be exactly in a straight line. Fine. From A to P, when you look at the point P, that is line of sight, and the angle formed here, we call angle of elevation. So you're at point A, students. From point A, you're looking at point B. If you want to look at point B, will you raise your head or you have to lower your head? If you want to view point P, you have to raise your head, right, in upward direction. That is known as the meaning is known as elevation. To elevate, elevation is to rise. You have to raise your head and you have to look at the point which is above B, and some point which you're looking down below. From A, there is another point C. Right? This is known as depression, angle of depression when you're looking down. Okay, angle of elevation and angle of depression. Just make a note of these two topics. Angle of elevation, horizontal line. So you'll have two things. They'll mention angle of elevation, angle of depression. Depression is down. You're at point A, from here A, O, C. This angle formed, we call it as angle of depression. So from angle A, you're viewing from angle A, students. So what will be point O? From point A to point O, what do you call that? Distance. What do you call this line from A to O? In this direction. You're viewing in this direction. Second diagram. What do you call this line from A to O? When you're looking at straight position, what do you call that? Horizontal line. Yes, horizontal line. And you have to view the object C. So it is below the horizontal line. Whichever is above the horizontal line, you have to raise your head and look at the object. That is known as elevation. You have to elevate. Okay, so above, positive sign, and below the horizontal line. When you're looking down, which is something below the horizontal line, we call it as angle of depression. Angle of depression. And A to C is known as line of sight. Whatever object you're looking at, line of sight. Line A to C is known as line of sight. Right? And take down the formula. Angle of elevation is equals to angle of depression. These are the two things you'll have to remember. So elevate is to look above the horizontal line. Depression is below the horizontal line. Next. We are at O. From O you have to look at, from A you have to look at point O. Okay, wait. B. You're at point O, students. From point O, you'll have to look at point P. From O to P. What do you call that? Angle of elevation or depression? Angle of depression. Angle of depression. Okay. Next, you switch your position. You're at P and you look at point O. What is it called? Angle of elevation. Angle of elevation. This depends on parallel line. Two things you'll have to remember. Angle of depression, angle of elevation. Next, parallel line concept. The third one, along with these topics, you have to use trigonometry table. Okay, so last year we studied angles with 0, 30, 45, 60 and 90. Fine. Any angle apart from this, what is the other concept we use? If you had any other angle, we used complementary angle concept, right? Complementary. But now, if you have 29 degrees, 36, 64, 88, all these degrees, you'll have trigonometry table. Okay, in table values will be mentioned. That is one thing. Next, parallel line concept. You'll remember parallel line. If these two lines are parallel, what about these two angles? What do you call them? They are inside the parallel lines. Interior, what do you call it? Alternate angles? Okay, from point A to O, it's a straight line. Line AO is a straight line. I'll write ST, straight line. Line PB is a straight line. Can you see it is a parallel line? A parallel line is formed. And which line is transversal here? Which line is intersecting the parallel line? Line PO. So that becomes the intersection. Then which two angles will be equal? Can you tell me which is interior alternate angle here? Angle AOP, correct, OPB. Naomi, is it clear why these two angles are equal? Interior alternate angles. This is 50 degree. What will be the other one? The next one? Straight line? No, it is a straight line. It is 130, right? And opposite to this is 130. So therefore, the opposite angle will be 50 degrees. Simple concept. Only these three things you have to remember. Okay, angle of depression, angle of elevation, parallel line. In between parallel line, just because there is parallel line, angle of depression is equals to angle of elevation. Just make a note. Angle of depression is equals to angle of elevation. Joanna, is it clear? Joanna, Cherisha? Yeah, concentrate, students. Do concentrate your. Try to answer, solve the questions. After the class, you can do whatever you want. During the class, concentrate. Okay, we'll start solving the questions. If it is root 3, values will be given 1.7328. Okay. And one more thing. Uh, Done. Have you all made a note of this? Mariana completed. Lemula, Mariana. Okay. Next. Okay. Write it. Write it. Completed. See this diagram. It's given in your textbook 386. That is what I explained. I have explained in short. Open page 386. You can go through that later. Angle of depression, angle of elevation. But parallel line is not given. Just because parallel line is given, interior alternate. That's the reason angle of depression is equals to angle of elevation. Refer page number 386. Okay, similar to trigonometry, few questions are easy, few will be tough. Where you'll have to apply 2 or 3 angle concept in one question. Done? Page 386. Okay, next question. Next, with along with this, you'll have to know. You have to remember what is horizontal and vertical. What do you mean by vertical, students? Horizontal and vertical. Yes, horizontal and vertical. What horizontal meaning is flat, right? It's flat. Vertical. Look at the vertical alphabet V. Okay, so remember like this, V, it has to be a straight line. Anything which is straight we call vertical. In triangle ABC, so basically you'll have questions like this. This is how you have to answer. AC, what do you call AC? If it is a right angle, hypotenuse. BC and AB we call it as base and perpendicular. But in this question, you have to know which is vertical and horizontal. Which is vertical? AB is vertical and BC horizontal. Okay. Mm, fine. Then we use this concept, height and distance. We make use of trigonometry. And where do we use this concept, students? Practically. Practically, where do we use? To find height of what? You can find height of wall, right? Height of tree. Last year, what are the concepts we studied? Remember flying a kite? Kite concept also is there. You can find the distance. Okay, this is where we use. That is given in the first line. In the first three lines of your textbook, just go through that. They might not ask. For MCQ, even for MCQ, they might not ask that. Okay, shall we start the first question? Shall we try the first one? Yeah, the angle of elevation of the top of a pole from a point at the level ground. Level ground is nothing but ground level. And 15 meters away from the pole is 30 degrees. Find the height of the pole. Yes, one more thing. How will you measure height, students? How will you measure height? If you when you stand straight or when you stand in a slanting way? 1 minute. Okay, how will you find height? If it is straight or slanting, how will you measure your height? Okay, so whenever they ask us to find height, remember this. Whenever they ask us to find height, it is straight, students. A line which has to be straight, or we also call it as vertical height. Okay, okay, fine. First question: the angle of elevation of the top of a pole from a point, ground level, and from away from 30 degree. Find the height of the pole. The angle of elevation at the top. See, just draw a right angle triangle. First, draw a right angle triangle. Name it as ABC. Okay. On the ground level and 50 meters away from the pole. So, which one will be the pole? Which one is pole here? Is it AB or AC? AB will be the pole. And what's the distance? Yes, and 15 meters away from the angle of elevation at the top of a pole from a point on the level ground and 15 meters away from the pole is 30 degrees. Fine. Look here. The angle of elevation of the top of a pole is 30. Instead of writing there, they've given it in the last from a point on the ground level and 15 meters away from the pole. So, where is this elevation, students? How far is this elevation from the pole? How far is this elevation? 15 meters. Pole is AB. Yeah, pole is AB. And the elevation here it is 30 degree. The distance between them is 15 meters. Okay. The angle of elevation of top of a pole from a point on the ground is 30 degrees and 15 meters away from the pole. Find the height of the pole. 30 degrees is given, 15. You'll remember all the trigonometric values, sine, cos, tan, ratios, all the ratios. Now, which angle is given here? Which angle is given, students? No, which one? A, B, or C? Which vertex is given? Angle. See, we have to name it. A, B, C. Angle C. We have to take angle C. With respect to angle C, what is BC? Is it perpendicular, base, or hypotenuse? With respect to angle C, base is given. Okay. What do we need? What do we need to find? AB or AC? What find the height of the pole. With respect of the pole here, AB. With respect to vertex C, students. With respect to vertex C, what is AB? Perpendicular or hypotenuse? Perpendicular. So which formula? We use only three things here: sine, cos, tan. Remember, only three formulas. The other three formulas are just reciprocal. Okay. Which formula is base and perpendicular? Tan and cot, right? So right, tan. Tan, which angle we are finding? From angle C. Tan C is equals to, sorry, tan 30 is equals to, what is the formula? No, no. Tan 30 is equals to, what's the formula? Not AB. Perpendicular. What is tan formula? Perpendicular by base. See, first go with the angle, students, whatever angle they have given. From that point, angle C, check which measurement they have given. 15 meter is given, that is base. Okay. Next, check what we have to find. Whether we need to find the height or the hypotenuse. We have to find the height of the pole AB. That is perpendicular. Then check which formula we use for perpendicular and base. Write that formula. Tan 30 degrees equals to perpendicular by base. What is perpendicular here? Which one is perpendicular? AB by base. So tan 30 is equals to, what is AB value? No, you can just write AB as it is. Yeah, you can take X, you can write AB, you can write height, anything. BC, BC is 50. Yes, tan 30 is equals to something. Tan is just click in textbook, students, in the behind are they given. Open page number 535. Yes, Mariana. No, for few things it is required. Okay, how did ma'am do? Did she directly first will write tan 30, students? What is tan 30? Is equals to AB into 15. Then how do you multiply this? Yeah, cross multiply. What's the value of AB? 15 into 15 by root 3. Yeah, what is root 3? What is root 3? Is it rational or irrational number? To rationalize it. How will you rationalize? You have to multiply it same. So it becomes 15 root 3 divided by root 3 into root 3 is root 3. 5 into, for this table is not required. What is root 3 value given? Okay, what's the answer? Wait, let me. Meanwhile, you'll complete this, students. Complete this. 5 into 1.732. 8.66. And 15 meter is given. Even this also should be in meter. 8.66 is the answer. All of you done? Completed? Okay, all these are there in trigonometry and you have to memorize lemula for few values. See, in behind they have given direct values. Okay. Didn't ma'am give table? She told not to memorize table. From 0 to 90. What about 0 to 90? So you have to memorize the table lemula. Okay, there are two different things. I have told you, right? From 0 to 90, if you'll have 30, 45, 60, 90, you should know the values. You do you know the direct values? Last year, what you studied? Do you remember that? Lemula, I'm asking you. Yes, those things, yes. Those are the values. Remember? Okay, let me give students. I'll give you all the values. Take down this. Apart from this, whatever you get. For example, 25 degrees. 25 degrees is not there in the table. You have to use trigonometry table for that. Okay. I don't know what kind of book they'll give you all. Whether you'll have the normal value. So better you'll make a note of this. Sine, cos, tan, cot. Yeah, only three things are enough. If you know sine, cot, tan, that is enough. Okay. Yes. Tell me, Naomi. First question. No, Naomi, you'll get for 2 or 3 marks. Not exactly MCQ. MCQ is last week we solved. Saturday were you there? Remember some angle questions we solved? Yeah, mostly from heights and distance they won't ask MCQ. From trigonometry they'll ask. Okay, so this one, yeah, 3 marks. Fine. Tell me the first value for sine students. What are the values? You have to memorize for sine. 0, half, 1 by root 2, root 3 by 2 and 1. What about cos? Can you tell me the value for cos? It should be the opposite. Root 3 by 2, 1 by root 2, half and 0. How do you get tan? Tan value. Sine by cos. So divide sine by cos. What is 0 by 1? You get 0. Okay. Then take 1 by 2. Look at this 1 by 2. Divide these two. 1 by 2 into 2 by root 3. What do you get? 1 by root 3. See, you'll have only sine cos tan today. Remember only sine cos tan. The other values are just reciprocal. So do one thing. Memorize even tan. It's very easy. You'll get 1 by root 3. Then take this 1 and this root 3 and undefined. Not infinite, undefined. So here we had tan 30. That's the reason I took 1 by root 3 for tan 30. I think for few questions we don't need that other table. If you just remember this, it's enough. Cos is just the reverse, Mariana. You forgot so soon. If you want to find cot, cot is just the opposite of tan. Undefined, root 3, 1, 1 by root 3, 0. Okay, I'll just better write it. You'll remember what if they ask different values. You should know how to write the table. Did you understand? Cos, sine, cos, tan, cot, right? Okay. See, better you'll remember, memorize even tan students. It's very simple. There won't be time for you all to write all this table. Okay, once again, can you just tell me sine value? What is sine? The first line, what you'll have to remember? What are the values? 0, yes, half, then 0 half, 1 by root 2, root 3 by 2 and 1. Right? Cos, cos should be the opposite. 1, root 3 by 2, 1 by root 2, 1, 0 half. Right? and 0. Tan is just the what's the quotient formula we have studied? Sine by cos, right? So divide 0 by 1 is 0. And but don't do it like this to memorize. After 0, what you have to get 1 by root 3. Then this 1 you'll write it. Numerator you'll write here. Denominator root 60. Clear? Undefined. Cot will be the opposite of that. Undefined root 3 1, 1 by root 3 is 0. Next. Sine, cos, tan, cot. What's the next one you have to write? What's the order I've told? Sine, cos, tan, cot. Next is sec, cosec. Okay. See, left hand side, reciprocal. All these are reciprocal. What do you mean by reciprocal? Tell me for sec value student. Sec is reciprocal for which one? If cos is 1, what is the reciprocal of 1? 1 by 1 is 1. Okay, now go with cos 30 degrees. What is cos 30? So what is the reciprocal? 2 by 3. Just reciprocate. Upside down. Numerator by denominator becomes denominator by numerator. What about cos 45? Root 2. Cos 60, sorry, sec 60. This is 2, 2 by 1 is 2. Okay, next. What is cos 90? 0. 0 by 1. If you reciprocate, what will you get? If you reciprocate, what will we get? 1 by. So when you divide anything by 0, what happens? When you divide anything by 0, you get cos 0 undefined. Remember this logic, students. It is simple. Your fifth or sixth standard concept. But till date, you will get confused. Even 10th standard students, they'll get confused. When you divide any value by 0, 100 by 0, minus 25 by 0. When you divide anything by 0, what's the answer you should get? Is it 0 or undefined? For all this, the answer is undefined. You can't divide anything by 0. That doesn't make any sense. Undefined. But when you divide 0 by any other numbers, what's the answer for this? For this, what's the answer you get? For this, you get 0. For this, you get 0. When you multiply, you get 0. But when you divide, simple, when the denominator is 0, it is undefined. That's it. Denominator 0 is undefined. Okay, what will be cosec value? For cosec, how will you find? It should be the reverse of, not sine, reverse. Reverse in the sense opposite of sec or reciprocal of, yes, or reciprocal of sine. It is better to remember opposite of sec. What is opposite of sec? We have here undefined, then 2, root 2 by root 3, 1. Don't write it, don't copy. First go through this, better practice it now. Later, even if I give time, you will want practice. First go through this, students, don't copy. Go through the values. Let me know if you have done. Don't write it, just read once. Just remember sine and tan, that is enough. Other things you can derive it. If you remember sine and tan, that is enough. Understood how to write this? All of you understood? Table? Okay, now write it without seeing. Just write once. If you don't know any value, just skip it. Just skip. Did you write, Mariana, all the values? Write down the entire table, Mariana. Sine, cos, tan, all the 6 values. I told you to memorize only sine and tan, but you should write down the entire table. Yeah, be quick, at least 4 to 5 questions will solve. And most used formula is tan 30, tan 60. Right? 1 by root 3 and root 3. Remember that. Tan 30 and tan 60. Most used values. All of you are done? I will return it. 0 of 1 by root 2, root 3. Fine. This is table. It See, for this chapter we might not use all these values, students, but for trigonometry in board exam they might ask you an MCQ question. Board exam or this midterm MCQ questions. Right? Where there they can ask you what is sec 60, cosec 45, cos 30. Okay, they can ask questions like this: cos 30 degrees divided by cosec 45. How do you solve this question? Cos 30 by cosec 45. What's the answer? What is cos 30? Root 3 by 2. Division root 2. So root 3 by 2 into, okay, 1 by root 2. So what's the answer? Root 3 by 2 root. Only these options will be in the MCQ answers. This answer will be in the option. So you'll have to use the table. You should know the values. Clear, all of you all? Completed? Okay, take break. 7 o'clock. At 7 we'll continue with the other questions. Yes, students, shall we start? All of you online? Online? Okay, what about Adia, Mariana, Charisha, Tanisha, Naomi, Lemula? All of you online? Fine. What do you mean by elevation, students? What is elevation and what is depression? Yeah, what is elevation? Is it above the ground level or below? Above the ground level is known as elevation. When you look something top, okay, from the eyes, from the horizontal view to top, it is known as elevation. I'll once again explain the first question. And triangle, you can draw it in any way. You can draw it like this: right angle, or like this. Fine, anything is fine. So first question, the first time when I drew it on the right hand side. Now left hand side, imagine there is a point A. From A you have to look what is given here, the angle of elevation of the top of a pole. So which is a pole here? Let me name it as AB as the pole, and you're at point C. Okay, point C. From C you're going to view the pole. So how do you check this, student? So which one is horizontal line? CB is horizontal or AC? Which is horizontal? CB will be the horizontal. Then what will be the angle of elevation? Which angle will be angle of elevation? A2. And what is the angle given here? Angle of elevation is from the pole 30 degree. That is what they've given, the angle of elevation of the top of a pole from a point on the ground. Level ground is ground level, that is C. And 15 meters away from the pole. The distance between B to C is 15. Fine. Now can you just tell me how do we solve this question? From which point you have to consider? On which act this one vertex angle is given? Vertex C. Right. From vertex C, which one we have to find? The distance, hypotenuse distance or AB, the pole. Right? You can write pole here, height of the pole. AB is the height of pole. From 30 degrees you have to write. So what is height of pole from 30 degrees? From vertex C, what do you call it? Perpendicular or hypotenuse? It is perpendicular. And from this vertex C, what is this 15 degrees? I mean 15 centimeter. Is it base or base? So we have tan. Tan, which angle is given here? Tan 30 degrees equals to, what's the formula? Perpendicular by base. This is perpendicular AB by AB. So tan 30 is 1 by root 3 is equals to AB by 15. And all this calculation I've showed, right? In the last, don't write AB. What you'll have to write? What they've asked? What they've asked us to find. So AB is the height of the pole, right? You have to conclude the sentence. Height of the pole. Height of pole. What's the answer we got? 0 point or 8 point something? 8.8. Yes, here 8.66 meters. Okay. Along with this, the other concept is rationalization. When denominator has root value, you have to rationalize. Shall we try the next one? Next question. Next question. So you all should know what is angle of elevation, angle of depression. First draw right angle, students. Right angle triangle. Right angle. From the top of the cliff, 50 meters height. From the top of a cliff. Okay, cliff 50 meters high. Which is the height here? Let me name it as A, B, C. Which one is the height here? Which line is straight? AB is the height. So 50 meters high. What is the distance of this AB? Length of AB? The length is 50 meters from the top of cliff. So where you have to stand, students? In which position? At point A or point C? From the top of cliff. What do you mean by top of cliff? Is it A or C? From A, you're standing at point A. The angle of depression of a, okay, I think it's boy. Angle of depression of a boy. I don't know what is that. What is given in the textbook? Is it BUOY? The angle of depression of a boy. I think BUOY is this point C. So what is depression, students? Is it downwards or upward direction? Depression meaning. What is depression? Yes, unmute and answer. Depression downwards. So if you're at point A, you're given top of a cliff, you're standing at point A, then which one will be angle 30 degrees? From A it has to be angle 30. Angle of depression. So look here. Just let me draw a straight line. What do you call this straight line as? From A, if you're looking at a straight line, what do you call this? We call it as horizontal line. Then which one will be angle of depression? From A, which point you're looking at? You have to look at point C. So this angle will be angle of depression. And what's the angle given? This is 30 degree. Then from point C, B. B is also a straight line. Then which two are parallel lines here? Which two will be parallel lines? DA and CB will be parallel. If DAC is 30 degree, what about ACB? Parallel line concept. Angle DAC is equals to which one? Angle of depression is equals to, from angle C, how will you look at angle A? Is it depression or elevation? This angle from point P. Yeah, which two are vertically opposite, students? Which two angles are vertically opposite? ACB. So if angle DAC is 30 degree, what about angle ACB? It should be 30 degrees. The distance of boy, what is this boy? I think there's a word for this mountain. In mountain, you find the word called cliff. Have you heard of the word cliff? Top of the mountain, the most point you call it as cliff. I think the bottom is called buoy, Buoy. Okay. The distance of the buoy from the foot of the cliff. Which is cliff here? Foot of the cliff, students. Which is foot of the cliff? B. Right? B is the foot of the cliff. Foot. So Buoy, the buoy is C. What you have to find here? The distance between C and B. Yes, B and C or C and B. So which angle we need to choose here? Both are 30 degrees. So you have to take angle ACB. Okay, from angle C, students, tell me from angle C point of view, which value is given? Which value is given? 50 degrees what? From angle C point of view, what is 50 degrees? What do you call it? Opposite, what do you call it? Perpendicular is given. What is asked to find? What is asked to find? Distance between C and B. From point C, what's the distance we call this? What is C and B? Is it hypotenuse or base? In which formula we use? Same tan. So tan 30 degrees is equals to AB divided by this base of CD. BC, right? BC or CB. So tan 30, what is tan 30? 1 by root. What is B? Okay, BC is what? What is BC here? Distance between? Distance, yeah, tell me Naomi, distance of the, from the foot of the, so that is nothing but CB. Keep it as BC or CB as it is. Solve this question. Did you all understand this? How we got 30 degrees here? All of you will unmute and answer, students. Don't be silent. Adya, Cherisha, Tanishka, did you all understand? Lemula? Fine. Here, which word is mentioned here? Angle of depression or angle of elevation? Second question. Which word is mentioned? Depression or elevation? Which is mentioned? Second question. Read the second question. In the first line, which word is mentioned? Angle of depression or angle of elevation? Depression. So where is depression, students? Is it ACB or DAC? Which is angle of depression? You have to look down, right? So it is DAC. But why did I write angle C as 30 degree? What's the reason? Why have I marked angle 30? Elevation. Who are they related? Which concept? Interior angles. So write this. See, you have to write like this. Angle DAC is equals to angle ACB. Angle of depression. You have to mention angle of depression is equals to angle of elevation. Okay. Then write ACB is 30 degree. Therefore, ACB is 30 degree. That's it. In heights and distance, you'll get only one question. And one more thing, we always need angle of elevation, students. We can even find angle of depression using angle of depression. But if you have angle of elevation, angle C, it is easy to use Pythagoras theorem. So whenever angle of depression is given, try to find angle of elevation. Both will be same. Cross multiply, find the value of BC. Completed? Okay. And you can use any alphabet. A, B, C, P, Q, R, X, Y, Z, any alphabet can be used. What's the answer, Naomi? What did you get? 86.6 meters. Okay, 50 can be written as 5 into 10. What is 10 into 1.73? Shifting method. Use shifting method. 17 point. 17.32 into 5. 5 2s are 10. 5 3s are 15, 16. 5 7s are 35, 36. What's the answer? 86.60. Okay, 86.60 meter or centimeters, right? Meters. Okay, so this is a word BUOY. This is a word in mountain and cliff. The topmost is cliff. All of you completed. Shall we try the third question? Done. We'll try the third question. Draw the diagram, students. Try to draw the diagram. Close notes, all your notebooks, everything. Just open textbook. Just refer. If not, close even the textbook. If you can see the question here. Draw the diagram. Just draw the diagram and write the values. First, draw a right angle triangle like this or like this. Anything is fine. Okay, shall we try the third question? Did you all do it? A vertical pole is 12 meter high, right? So name it as A, B, C, student. Which is vertical pole here? Yeah, tell me which is vertical pole. 12 meter high is given, height is given. So AB, AC or B? AB will be the height of the pole. Right? I is given. I meaning is height, 12 meters. And the length of his shadow is 12, 12 root 3. What is the angle of elevation of the sun? What's the angle of elevation? Okay, if this is the pole, where will the sun be, students? On top of A or below A? On top of A, the sunrise. Okay. And where will the shadow fall? Opposite direction. I think the sun is on right. So if it is on right, you have to imagine this. Sun is on right, here, somewhere this, always this, like this. If sun is on top, and from there, if the light falls on this shadow falls on BC, right? So what is the distance of BC given? What is distance of BC, students? Shadow is 12 root 3. So from A to B, this shadow falls on BC. AB, the vertical pole is 12 meters high, and the length of his shadow is 12 root 3. What is the angle of elevation of the sun? Okay, so base is the BC is the shadow, that is 12 root 3. These are the two angles given, values given. Fine. So if the sun falls on AB, okay, and one more thing, don't assume the length of AB should be equal to shadow, students. It is totally different. It depends on the reflection. Have you seen reflection? For example, if you're standing in this position here, it depends on the distance of the light. If the light is here, sometimes the reflection falls on the wall, right? It can be this side or it can be even double. Have you seen the reflection, the shadow? See, this is known as shadow. This part, you're standing at this position. Okay, this is light. So whenever a light is in the opposite direction, your shadow, whatever shadow falls on the wall, it can be of the same size, it can be double, triple, it depends on the angle. It depends on the angle of light placed. Here the light is nothing but sun. Right? The light rays is produced from the sun. So AB is the pole and CB is the distance, the shadow. What you'll have to find here? What's the question asked? What is the angle of elevation of the sun? So from sun the point of view, what is this angle? Is it angle of depression or angle of elevation? From sun rays, can you unmute and answer if the sun rays falls? How is the sun rays falling? Is it in the downwards or upward direction? Downwards. So what is this angle of depression? If you want to find angle of depression, what is the other angle which will be same? Angle of depression is equals to angle of elevation. Okay, so the sunrise falling, we call it as angle of depression. but angle of depression is equals to angle of elevation. Both are same. That's the reason they didn't ask this angle. Instead of that, they asked angle of elevation. Fine. So the sun rays will always fall in the downward direction. It is all sun is always top. It falls. The rays falls in the downward direction. So we don't need to find angle of depression here because angle of depression is equals to angle of elevation. Again, angle C is given here. So take angle C. From angle C, with what is the height of the pole here? Is it AB or BC? Height of the pole. From angle C, students, what's the height of the pole? See, what are the two values given? Can you tell me the two values? AB is given. AB is given. Yeah. From what see what is AB? What do you call it? Perpendicular and BC. What do you call? Yes. Again, which formula we use for perpendicular and base? Your tan value is given, angle is given, or we need to find. Just a minute. Yeah, right. Tan theta, students. Tan theta is equals to perpendicular by base. Tell me the value, angle. Tan theta value is not given. We are calculating from point C. So you take this tan theta, yes. Can see from when? Now? Okay, now can you see the screen? Okay, what are the two values given? AB divided by perpendicular BC or CB. What is perpendicular? 12 divided by 12 root 3. Which one gets cancelled? 1 by root 3. So which formula gives 1 by root 3, students? See, I'll tell you how to calculate this. Take tan and 1 by root 3. Check the table. 1 by root. Okay, I've erased it. Tan what gives 1 by root 3? Tan 30. Let me write tan 30 here. Tan theta and tan 30 degree. 1 by root 3 is nothing but 30 degree. Tan and tan gets cancelled. Theta is equals to what answer? 30 degrees. This is how we have to write it. Okay. Tan 30. So in place of 1 by root 3, just because we have tan on the left hand side, write tan and check what is 1 by root 3. Tan 30 degrees. Theta is equals to 30 degrees. Okay, can you tell me the other position? Is it possible to for the sun to place in this position? Look, students, if the sun is in this opposite position, where will the shadow fall? AB shadow, it will fall on DC, right? Fall on DC. So therefore, CB is of no use. So there they won't give where the sun is in which direction. You'll have to figure out. Okay, what if the sun is on top like this? Where is the pole? Where is the pole given? AB or AD? Where is the pole? If the sun is like this, where will the sunrise fall? On this direction? On the pole? So where will the shadow fall? It will be somewhere on the other side, right hand side. It's not possible. Right? So according to diagram, you have to place. You have to think about this. And we use only right angle here. We use only right angle. It has to definitely be base. Okay, it has to definitely be base. See, sun cannot be on the right hand. It's not possible because sun is always top. So it can be either at this position or here, top. Okay. So we have base BC on the left hand side. Therefore, this one, point A, at point A. And sunrise fall downwards, depression. You can't find depression. We use the formula angle of depression is equals to angle of elevation. That's the reason angle C. If you find angle C, that will be the answer. What's the answer? Is it tan 30 degrees? Okay, how did ma'am do, students? In the same way, or did she write any statement? Or statement, or how about the triangle? Do they take right hand side or left hand side? Nothing like that, right? She didn't tell any rules like that. She didn't tell anything like that. So you can take it in any direction. Okay, remember, we don't find angle of depression, students. Angle of depression is equals to angle of elevation. We always go with angle of elevation. That is angle C. That is fixed. Okay, 3 questions. How many questions we have done? 3. Try the fourth one for homework. A kite is flying at 80 meters with a thread 80 meters long. The thread is assumed stretch, make 60 degrees with the horizontal. Okay, it's a very simple 9th standard question. Even in 9th, you'll have this. Fourth question. Will you try the fourth question for homework, all of you? Okay, kite is flying. So which one will be the this one, students? Thread of the kite. Will the kite fly always in the straight direction? Because of wind, it will deviate right, left and right. So which one will be the thread here? Kite. A is kite. Which one? AC or BC? Which one will be the string? AC. String is the AC one. Okay. It will not always be straight. AB. It won't be straight. So it will be like this. If not, if it goes towards the right, okay, like this. So two different diagrams. Either draw it left hand side or right hand side. 90 degrees. Right angle triangle. Right? Hypotenuse. Right? Then check whether angle of elevation is asked or depression, whatever is asked. Try this. Only if you'll send it to me, complete and send it, I'll get to know whether you have understood or not. Fine, that's it for today. You all can leave. Log in at 6 o'clock tomorrow. All of you can leave.